Graphic documents released today about pedophiles in the Milwaukee Archdiocese. And the Cardinal Timothy Dolan once again is defending himself. We have live team coverage. John Coco has reaction from the victims. But we begin with Sherry Dunn with the bombshell dropped online just hours ago. Sherry?
Well, 45 clergy offender names were listed on the Archdiocese website, and when you look at those documents, a clear theme emerges, and that is containment, meaning that frequently the priests were contained rather than removed from service. Once a superior is informed of allegations, an investigation begins. Frequently, a psychologist is brought in, and at times law enforcement. Occasionally, a case was brought to trial, as in the case of James Aramont, who pleaded no contest to charges of fourth-degree sexual assault and was sentenced to 18 months probation. The recommendation of the DA at the time, however, was that Aramont get 3 years probation and that his ministry only be restricted to one that would not involve youth. In another case back in 1983, that of Raymond Edmansky, he's accused of kissing two sisters, aged 10 and 12, and giving one sexually explicit underwear. A psychologist reported there was no reason to remove him from the ministry, and after consulting with the parents indicated satisfaction and said, quote, all things are fine. Yet again, in the case of Ronald Bandley in August 1987, Bandley admitted to inappropriate behavior with a then 15-year-old 15 years earlier and a 12-year-old 6 years earlier. Bandley, after 3 years of therapy, Archbishop Rembert Winkland was advised that a limited return to the ministry under direct supervision, he would, quote, not pose a risk. And Bandley did return to limited service but has since died. What some of these files seem to reveal is a policy of containment as opposed to aggressive prosecution and removal from pastoral duties. And the Archdiocese says they are confident that priests with any substantiated allegations are no longer serving, and they also have put certain fail-safes into effect, such as background checks and mandatory training on sexual abuse for all clergy and staff. We are live at Cathedral Square. Sherry Dunn, CBS 58 News.
Sherry, thank you. Vindication in some ways for those who have had to sue the church. John Coco is live with that part of the story. John?
Michelle, this is an extremely emotional day for the survivors of church abuse, and speaking with many, one single word keeps coming up.
This is a day of validation.
Today is a great validation.
Today validates what survivors have been asking for years.
Years spent battling the Archdiocese in courtrooms for these documents to be released.
This day was never supposed to happen. They've spent millions and millions of dollars in court to prevent the public from ever seeing these documents.
Now the public will. All 6,000 of them.
The people of the Catholic Church are people of truth and of justice, but that is clearly being challenged in these documents.
For SNAP, a significant amount of their blame falls on Cardinal Timothy Dolan while he was Archbishop in Milwaukee, citing his asking of the Vatican to shield millions of church assets from abuse survivors in a trust, bringing another single word to this group's mind.
Fraud, fraud, and fraud.
Worthy of criminal investigation in their minds. SNAP emailed the U.S. Attorney's Office today to do just that. But they say Dolan isn't alone. The deceit and cover-ups stem to the current Archbishop Jerome Listecki and far back to Rembert Winkland.
Today is mostly a day of sadness. It is a day of grief. But it has to turn into a day of accountability and a day of responsibility.
Now, SNAP admits they're still going over all of the documents, and once they do, they'll likely have more to say. We are live in downtown Milwaukee. John Coco, CBS 58 News.
John, thank you.